want to talk about one note that can summon a generation, just hats off to Marty O'Donnell. Every time you hear that piano key play, just phenomenal. Today, we're playing through my favorite mission of all time, Halo 3's The Covenant. To me, this is just, it's peak Halo. This has everything that I've come to love about the series, just all wrapped up nicely in one campaign mission. It's got phenomenal gameplay, nice bit of vehicle sections, plus some of the plot points in here are just strictly phenomenal. So we're going to play through it here. I'll kind of call out some things that I just love about this mission as we go through, but let's enjoy some nostalgia here. Nothing better than hopping off that Pelican, and you have the Spartan laser, which I believe this was actually the first campaign mission you were able to access it. So just storming off that Pelican with a couple ODSTs in hand, especially after your Pelican gets shot down, it kind of brought back some almost silent cartographer vibes. Just storming the beach. Halo 3 has definitely got to be my favorite out of the series. I don't think it's a perfect game by far, but to me, it's just about as close as you can come. I mean, really, my only gripe with this game, and this has got to be some of the most nitpicky shit I could bring up. I do prefer the battle rifle in Halo 2. Wasn't a big fan of the bullet velocity in Halo 3. There were just a lot of times where it felt the BR was really consistent, and sometimes if you just did not have good connection, you were really going to pay for it. Perfect. So, interesting thing here, most of the time when you would destroy these anti-air wraiths, most of the time you really couldn't do anything with it, but there was a little trick. We'll see if we can pull it off here. But essentially, you would just beat open the hatch, get it to where the brood inside was non-armored, and if you timed it just right, you could actually take over the Wraith and use something before that was programmed to immediately blow up as soon as you got it.
I'm on my way. Shipmaster, begin diversionary bombardment.
Which was really fun because this is one of the few missions. The Ark was another one that you could use it on, but most of the time, by the point that you could use the anti-air wraith, they dropped in the Scorpions, which I always found the Scorpion just to be better overall, but this is a nice little section because really all that you have is a mongoose and a warthog, so having some heavier firepower was always a nice change of pace. The music, though, for this mission is just so on point. Just from the initial opening cutscene to as soon as you start climbing the hill face here, or the mountain rather.
The Arbiter and the Elites have touched out at number 2.
Marty O'Donnell and the rest of the guys over there at Bungie at this time. Just so many bangers. It is the only downside, though, to taking the anti-air wraith. It is a little bit slower than using the hog or the mongoose, but you do get an insane amount of firepower with it. Fortunately, Mother Nature seems to be our greatest adversary right here. There we go.
Objective in sight.
Will say too, I know by today's standards the graphics aren't that great, but man, when this game came out, just absolutely beautiful. I mean, I remember following all the Bungie.net updates just to see everything that came out. I mean, there was a solid point there where they were just doing updates talking about like the physics with the water and everything. And never thought water physics would be something that would get me hyped, but they definitely did a good job of keeping the community in the loop with Halo 3 and really getting them excited. So these here are Prowlers. This is fortunately the only Halo game that they have been in. Essentially, it was just kind of like the brute version of the human warthog, which wasn't too bad. You had a standard plasma turret, and then you actually had two kind of jump seats, one on the left and one on the right side, so you could actually carry 4 people with you. It was used on a couple different missions. Actually, I think it might just be the Ark and this one as well. Just clear that out super easy, and then just camp out, wait for that bubble shield to go down. I believe we at least still have one guy in there, at least if they're smart. You know, they got a couple seconds to kind of kiss their ass goodbye before we just open up on them, but see if anything starts moving. Yeah, we might have already got him. All right, so as I said, this is typically not a vehicle that you can drive, so it's in perfectly good shape right now. However, as soon as we hop out, immediately blows up.
Stick together. Check your corner.
Nice little piece of active camo. Probably won't end up needing to use it. We might use it once we get up the tower here. Now, currently on this run, I don't have any skulls on. We're just playing on normal anyways. Just more to kind of showcase the level itself. Actually, no, I lied. We do have I Would Have Been Your Daddy on. Just in the odd chance that we get some random dialogue. Do remember correctly as well, I think this is one of the few Halo games where the shield on the Jackal actually switched hands. Could be wrong though, but I do want to say I know the shield hasn't always been on just one side. So one of the other things that Halo 3 did that I really loved, I never paid too much attention to it. I guess we will drop the camo. But these nice little terminals here, they actually gave you a fair bit of backstory on Mendicant Bias. So as you just kind of scroll through them, it'll give you a little bit more information. We won't spend too much on there, but it is a very interesting kind of backstory. Mendicant Bias was an AI for the Forerunners who ultimately betrayed them. He succumbed to the logic plague from the flood, and a lot of the story that you see is essentially him trying to atone for his sins. The multiplayer map Epitaph is actually where I believe Mendicant Bias is said to have been buried after betraying the Forerunners. But it is a cool backstory because essentially you get a little bit of info on how he's actually trying to help the Chief out, or yeah, the Chief out throughout, I think actually a fair bit of Halo 3, at least whenever you get to the Ark.
That's two. It's all up to Johnson's team now. Get back outside, Chief. Wait for transport. Johnson, come in. Over.
Reinforcements, man. We're pinned down.
You know what? Nah, we will keep the grav hammer. I was just thinking because I know there's going to be a pair of hunters later, but grav hammer will work just fine.
Johnson, can you hear me? Chief, you need to link up with the Arbiter and proceed directly to the 3rd tower. make your way back to the beach.
Get in, sir.
Then here we have the troop transport hog. Now this is something that we do have in even Halo Infinite, but this is where it was first introduced. I think actually the Road to Voy is the first mission you can actually access it in. Weirdly enough though, even though I've been kind of critical of a lot of the 343 Halo games, I would say I think in terms of the transport hog, I think they actually did a better job with it in Halo Infinite. It's definitely something where the open world part of the campaign does really lend itself pretty well to the transport hog. I think in all honesty, this is really the only mission I ever touch it in, and it's really just to kind of make it down to the beachhead here. There were a couple times though on the third mission where I would try to run it, but just doesn't hold up to having the 50 cal on the back. And of course the Hornet. Honestly, again, I am glad to see that with this last Halo Infinite update, the Falcon is back. But to me, the Hornet's just the real UNSC Air MVP vehicle. But this is just one of the reasons why I love this level. You have such a diverse amount of gameplay that you get. It's not all just running around on foot or just strictly ground vehicles. You have a nice little section of both air, land. Yeah, pretty much land and air. I was about to say land, air, and sea, but really don't do anything with the sea here. So this here was the second pylon that the elites went to, so we're actually just gonna swing over here real quick. Now I don't know if it will pop up. Yep, so there was a skull that was hidden right there, and then just like before, if you were to run into that little section, there would be another terminal. Probably could have just saved that Spartan laser and given it to one of the Marines here on the side, but would have only been useful for this little section right here unless we took it back from it. And this was also as well the first Halo game that you could actually destroy the Phantom, so sometimes if you were quick enough you could actually destroy them before they would drop off their troops. But even if you weren't that quick, just still blowing them up would usually be enough to cause a fair bit of damage to anything below it. Can hit it. There we go. Hope we can hit one of those exploding barrels. There's some workspace there for our friends. And of course, one of my favorite reasons, or one of the big reasons why I love this level, You get to work alongside the elites. That to me was always the coolest thing with Halo 3 was it happened right after the Great Schism. So the elites and humanity, they are on a little bit of an uneasy truce, but kept it together long enough to give us some really memorable moments. So it's just really cool to be working alongside the Arbiter and some of the other elites as well on friendly terms. Sometimes I do take for granted the lunge capabilities of the grab hammer in later games. We can give the gravity hammer to the elites. However, they really don't use it a whole lot. Did also enjoy, honestly, a fair bit some of the newer weapons that they brought in with Halo 3.
Darken this tower and the barrier will fall.
Especially some of the brute-themed weapons, like the Spiker and the Mauler. I thought they did a good job of giving the brutes some more character, because you could definitely see a little bit of their culture inside the weapons and that. Especially with like the Spiker. It behaves pretty similar to the SMG. But of course you have those big nasty blades on the side that just make it look so good. Flame grenades were also something I was excited to see in this game, as well as the flamethrower. Somebody who played a lot of Halo 1 PC, it was pretty cool to see them finally bring that over for the console side for people to experience. And the flame grenades were also pretty cool as well.
Now, Prophet, your end has come. High Charity. By the gods, brace for impact!
And of course, we get the Flood on this mission as well. Again, Halo 3's rendition of the Flood, my personal favorite. Enjoyed the fact, too, that they did more than just standard combat carrier and infection forms. The pure forms were really cool, especially lore-wise.
Shipmaster, what's your status?
Significant damage. Weapons system disabled.
Move to a safe distance. Stay away from the Flood.
Why would the parasite come here?
The Ark is out of range of all the active installations. Priority, we must contain this outbreak before...
No. First, we stop the troop. Then we deal with the Flood.
Not realize that our buddy was just hanging up there. Also, another nice thing, you could actually blow up the carrier forms with the spike grenades, and you didn't have to worry about just mopping up all the small little infection forms that would come after.
Quickly, I must see the point of impact, assess the damage to the Ark.
To the top of these hills, Oracle, no higher. We cannot risk your capture by the flood.
And again, just another spectacular vehicle section. But again, just something I really love about this part is, even though you're running just straight human vehicles, you get some of the elites that'll tag along as well. Although, oddly enough, it doesn't look like any of them want to join us this time around. Of course, the only time that I go to record this mission is the one time that I've never seen an elite hop into one of the vehicles. But it can happen. I'm guessing that's probably because all of our Marines survived that little section right there. So we had almost enough. Old Sputnik there, he's charging in battle pretty fearlessly with that mongoose. Don't know really what he's planning to do with that, but that thing's just being powered with hopes and dreams right now. If he's lucky, he can get a splatter, but if not, he can just kind of honk that horn menacingly at them.
Citadel inside. Troops are mobilizing everything.
This was also the first Halo game to have the Scorpion. You could not operate both the standard artillery round and the little auxiliary cannon at the same time. You actually had to have a second player or somebody riding that there, like a Marine, to use it, which was kind of nice. If I remember correctly, I don't think it was actually until some of the later Halo games as well where you could actually ride on the tank. I know you could in Halo 1 if you were playing multiplayer, but I think that's kind of a standout in the series. Not that you would really do it a whole lot, but with Halo 1 and how easy it was to sometimes accidentally betray your teammates with the vehicles, sometimes it did make sense to just hop on and ride. Of course, another nice little Hornet section here. This time we get not one, two Scarabs. And again, with that music in the background, just makes this fight feel so epic. I mean, again, I know I don't always voice the greatest of hopes with like 343 Halo Studios, but I mean, this mission right here is just one of the reasons why I would love to see a Halo 3 remaster. I mean, just having something like this expanded upon, I think that would be really cool. It's actually kind of one of the few reasons why I'd be okay with a reboot to the series, if it allowed them to kind of go back and make some of this stuff a little bit bigger and better than what Bungie was able to do at the time. It's not a knock towards Bungie. It's, you know, it's kind of a reality that technology has gotten better. Of course, you know, while you have that engagement there, you've got at least a Pelican with you, and you still have some Marines on the ground. I mean, for the limited resources that they had with 2007, they definitely did a really good job of making it feel like there was just an even bigger battle going on than what
Come to me.
it felt
This
like.
platform hides a path. The flood scales the Citadel's far wall. Activate this bridge oracle. Prophet will die by my hands, not theirs.
Calamity! If only we had
The Arbiter's just a
time.
character. I would love to see his story continue. I know that there's been some books, and he did have a brief little appearance in Halo 5, but I would just love to see them do so much more with the Arbiter character in the mainline series. I mean, I know a lot of people really praise the books, and I guess they, in total fairness, they have been pretty good. But there's just something about, like, modern Halo where it seems like all the cool shit's in the books. Just put it in the game. Let us play through it.
Enemies crowd around us. We tread the blessed path. In a moment I will light the rings, and all who believe shall be saved.
Chief, how close are you?
Not close enough.
You know, I will say Johnson, he's just such a badass. They did such a good job with his character. I mean, even that small little segment there where you just see him still being defiant,
Impress me.
even right there,
You imbecile!
just taunting a chieftain. I mean, the dude had some serious stones to him. Will say though, the voice actor for Truth in Halo 2 definitely did prefer him.
Can't stop
Whoever we
your
got for Halo 3 still did a phenomenal job, but whoever did it for Halo 2, there was just something about their voice that just made that character feel so menacing.
Johnson, sound off.
Get out of here!
Not without you.
You delay the inevitable.
Never did notice though, but if you look at Miranda's pistol there,
You cannot
she actually
hope to kill them all.
kind of has it on wrong. I guess for that that one particular maneuver right there, it actually made sense, but
Me and you. Now. No!
Miranda too, such a good
Your
character.
forefathers wisely set aside their compassion, steeled themselves for what needed to be done.
And so this is also, just with some of the comments that Truth is making,
They left you behind.
you know, with like your forefathers, I see why they left you behind.
You were weak.
What's actually really interesting is
Gods must be
prior to 343 taking over, now it was never really explicitly said in the games, but there was enough hinting at the subject that you could pretty much infer it to be true. But the Forerunners were actually just supposed to be ancient humans, which is really interesting too, because the book Contact Harvest, which came out, I want to say it was shortly after Halo 3, did such a phenomenal job of setting Truth up to be super evil, because the dude knew that like humanity was
Do not shoot, but listen.
finish it right
Let
after
me
this.
lead you safely to our foe. Only you can halt what he has set in motion.
I will say too, this is another scene I never would have expected. The fact that not only do we get to team up, you know, with the elites now, but you're teaming up with the Flood, that just took me for a loop as a kid. That was so amazing. Of course, it doesn't last long, as you'll see, but still very cool. But yeah, so in the book Contact Harvest, the Prophet of Truth actually discovers that humanity is essentially a very young version of Forerunners, which he hides away that information because, well, you know, starts genociding us, and also at that time kind of figures out that their whole religion, like the Great Journey, all that, it's just one big lie.
How could I have known the parasite would follow?
Which I do like some of the expanded lore that 343 has done. But I do think it would be interesting to kind of see a, I don't want to say like an alternate timeline, but maybe like an alternate universe where humanity still is kind of the just predecessor. I'm not even sure what the word is, but yeah, essentially the same thing as the Forerunners. And how that could have affected the games moving forward, because part of the big thing with Halo 4 was we did get introduced to the Didact. I mean, I guess we'll pick that up. Why not?
So far we are on the path, but I must stray. Know this, my brothers. They may foul the way, but they will not stop the journey.
Just be one less combat form for them.
Stop the rings. Save the rest.
Can you see, Arbiter? The moment of salvation is at hand.
It will not last.
Your kind never believed in the promise.
So glad too that they gave the Arbiter the kill on Truth.
Beacons.
I mean, I feel like the man deserved it.
I will have my revenge. On a prophet, not a plague.
My feet tread the path.
And the man finds out, you know, the religion that his species has believed for like thousands of years is false. That they were, you know, essentially genociding an innocent species, and once he makes that discovery, well, I guess it's actually afterwards, but even then, Truth tries to lead the rest of the Covenant, genocide his species.
You must be silenced.
Such a good way to take out the last of the prophets right there. Well, at least out of like Truth, Mercy, and Regret. Mercy and Regret, of course, died in Halo 2, but...
Now the gate has been unlatched. Headstones pushed aside. Corpses shift and offer room. A fate you must abide. We trade one villain for another.
That's just such an iconic scene right there. Chief and the Arbiter back to back. The Arbiter bearing a sword and Chief is iconic assault rifle.
No way I can pick you up. Head back to the lift. Find a way down.
Then, of course, there was another skull here that involved you actually jumping through this set of rings here. There was a specific order. I can't remember offhand what the order was, but if you did that, it would place a skull on the map. So if you were trying to get the original Hayabusa armor set, which is a huge hit with a lot of people. This was probably the hardest skull for most people to obtain. I do like the assault rifle in here. I kind of like that it was a little bit more accurate. Still just didn't really hit as hard as what I wanted it to. I mean, that is one thing I do give 343 series credit for, is they really did make the assault rifle feel worth using. I mean, it had its place in Halo 1 and 3. And I know their intention with the assault rifle was to kind of have the holy trinity of kind of combat with ranged melee and grenades. I mean, the assault rifle does that phenomenally. It's actually why they brought the assault rifle back, was because with the SMG in Halo 2, they also introduced dual wielding, which, by the way, 343, can we please get that back at some point? But a lot of people just kind of gravitated towards going right into dual wielding with that. And so you didn't see as much melee combat or, of course, grenade throwing, because you'd have to drop one of your weapons to do it. So I was happy to see them bring back the assault rifle, even if it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. It was still a very worthy weapon, and it's just so iconic. But that's the end of the mission, and that's just one level that I can always just flip on and play through, and I'm gonna have a good time. Just has everything, in my opinion, that made Halo great, you know, down to some of the story pieces with the Arbiter taking out Truth. And then, of course, right here, you know, another phenomenal piece of, you get to see the ring that the Chief destroyed in the first Halo game being rebuilt, and that sets the stage for the ending of the trilogy. Plus, just the nice mix between regular ground combat and then vehicle combat sections, especially with it being both ground and air for that. Just so good. I mean, this Halo 3 will always probably be one of the most important games to me. I mean, I fortunately didn't get to go to the midnight release for it because it was a school night, but I mean, one of the best memories I have was my dad actually went out to the midnight release for me, and I had, of course, pre-ordered the legendary version because I was so excited about the idea of having Master Chief's helmet. Bummed out that I couldn't wear it, but I, just remember him getting home and watch, I think it was like 12:30, 12:40, and I was already hyped up because I knew he was up there. And as soon as he got home, it was like, dude, let's open this stuff. Of course, couldn't play it that night. Still had to go to bed because, again, had school the next day. But just a phenomenal game and so many great memories attached with it. But that's going to be all for this video here. Thank you as always for watching. Let me know your favorite mission down in the comments. But we'll catch you next time.